Home, the High Court in Johannesburg will hear the DA's application to make public records of the ANC's cadre deployment committee dating back to the 1st of January 2013. The DA says it wants to provide complete transparency to South Africans by exposing the role played by President Cyril Ramaphosa in appointing the corrupt individuals who captured and collapsed the state. Ramaphosa chaired the deployment committee between 2013 and 2018. But let's talk about this now with legal expert. That's Mpumelelo Zikalala, who joins me now to take this conversation further. Mpumelelo, thank you for your time and good morning to you. I mean, we heard a lot about cadre deployment, particularly during the Zondo Commission, and as far as President Cyril Ramaphosa's involvement is concerned, since he did chair that committee from as far back as 2013. But please give us context in the merits of this case. What exactly is the DA's appeal here from the courts?
The DA is basically saying, Mr. President, you are entrusted by the Constitution to make sure that you make choices which are going to be in the best interest of all South Africans. Now, by doing that, you have to apply your mind and make sure that the decisions which have been taken come from you and not from any political party. Now, if you are going to rely on cadre deployment, that means you have dedicated your duties and you've said the ANC can then take over and do what the President is supposed to do. So if you do that and you allow that process to happen, basically you've been captured. And it wasn't the instances and the thoughts or the intellect of the President that was taking place when those appointments were being made, but we're simply executing your party lines instruction, which is something which is not supposed to be done as per the Constitution. Now, to prevent the type of process from happening, then the court must then come in and say those particular actions are then declared illegal or not in line with the Constitution, and that may have serious ramifications when it comes to how things ought to be if the next president will then come in. So they're basically saying, don't delegate your duty to choose ministers. Make sure that you're able to do it on your own, and don't rely on the ANC deployment committee to make decisions. It must be done by you, and you are doing that with the best interest of the South Africans being in mind.
I mean, and as far as the ANC is concerned, I mean, what's their response to this? Are you aware of the merits of the case, just in terms, of just their response to this and their appeal, perhaps in not wanting, I can imagine, and assuming to divulge confidential, meeting documents, which the DA is saying they want that transparency, that level of accountability where confidential minutes taken at the meeting to be exposed?
The ANC will then come back and say, we are a political party, yes, but our matters must then remain private. We have a list of members in which we then account to, and if you wanted to disclose or want to find the content of those meetings, you'd have to sit in those appropriate structures. As long as you can't prove that you've done something which is legal, in this case, we just discuss matters pertaining to South Africa, everyone can be able to do that. We do that on a daily basis. We are not going to be answerable to the Democratic Alliance. And anyways, if you look at the constitutional laws that it only binds the president as to how the president is supposed to act in that particular manner. But also linked to that would be, in what state did, or in what manner did the ANC then aid the state capture exercise or the days of state capture by engaging in this cadre deployment when it decided on this particular matter. So it's going to have serious ramifications, especially for the ANC, in the manner in which it does and executes its duties. And they would want, by all means, to say to the court, we are an independent political party. We can't be dictated to by a court of law in terms of the things we need to want to do. All our things must remain private, and we are not going to disclose anything.
Now, with what you're telling me right now, Mpumelelo, does the DA have a case here?
To the extent in which they can be able to prove that the decision which is taken by the president is irrational and does not really speak to the needs of the country, I would say no. Because if you look at all the ministers and you say, do they have relevant experience in the various disciplines? Are they able to perform optimally? In instances where they haven't performed, then at the end of the day, they must be removed. I would say no. So it comes back to this process of saying, you cannot then take away the powers of the president. If you want to challenge how the president has taken a certain decision, there are ways and means of doing that. And you must be able to show the lack of rationality or that the decision was irrational in the manner in which it was made. I do not think that the manner in which the DA is using this particular court case is going to achieve that. Yes, it is a start. However, you have to boil down to specifics so that it's easier for the court to then say, Mr. President, you ought to have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how you have failed, and due to that, the rational decision that was taken. someone has suffered harm, especially South Africans, and this is how we are going to take in to protect fellow South Africans.
Yeah, in your opinion, you don't think they have a case, but should they win this case, what then are the implications for other political parties? Surely this then is setting a different and new precedent when it comes to accountability of transparency in as far as confidential party information, communication, that being via WhatsApp or emails or calls or texts, etc. That surely sets a new precedent then for political parties.
It will then mean you must disclose all the things which are happening behind closed doors. As long as it touches upon or deals with the interests of South Africans, then it must be known as to how those particular decisions were arrived at, so that at the end of the day it's easier for us to see that they were taken with rationality in mind. It would then mean that there are no things which are going to be discussed behind closed doors, and all party matters will have to be discussed openly, and we must be able to scrutinize all those particular discussions as they are, which is why I say I'm able to take much persuasion, especially from the court or to the court, to say that you must then allow this veil of secrecy to be removed in the best interest of South Africans. You must show real reasons of why that has to be done. Secondly, you also have the Constitution, which also helps to hold the President accountable. So why would you need a first layer of accountability when there is an instrument which is already there available that can be utilized? All that you have to do is that you have to file your application and request for information in a proper manner.
All right. I appreciate you, of course, assisting us in bringing some context and legal clarity to this matter. Legal expert Mpumelelo Zikalala, thank you so much for your time.